Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing. Tonight is a special episode. You've all had your Christmas meals, you've all had your Christmas presents. We want you to sit back, enjoy your couple of days off that you're having, or longer if you're having a great annual leave period. But tonight on Talking Fishing is a best of show. You're going to see some of the best stuff that we produced in 2016. Sit back, enjoy Talking Fishing. Boys, let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano, providing reliable, trustworthy, quality fishing gear for your enjoyment.
Have a look at this one. This is a few of the staff from work. Rob, Simon, Jesse and Cal all got their, they've got 5 on each hand. They've got their 10, there's 40 there. And they did all right too. They all went home with some nice fillets of King George whiting. And just to point out, Rob's our Storm and Simon's our IT guru. Two guys that haven't done a lot of fishing, particularly Port Phillip Bay whiting. And to see those sort of numbers coming out in a session is just absolutely sensational.
Yeah, that's right. And if I tell you what, if this continues, it's going to be fighting for a place with every snapper fisherman. They're going to be trading the bait runners and snapper rods for nibble tips in no time because
sick of catching them.
Justin Blythe got this lovely gummy off Summers Beach. Summers Beach last Friday night.
I was going to say that was one of the windier days, but look at the background.
About 7 o'clock at night, and that is a cracker fish
off
the beach, isn't it?
That is a fish off the beach. I'll take that in the boat.
For not even in darkness, I mean, that is a cracker fish. So great photo too, Justin. So have a look at the flathead that are coming out of Lake Tyers at the moment.
This is exciting.
Dan Thornycroft, an 80 centimetre, nice big fat frog.
Yep.
That is absolute cracker, isn't it?
We got a sussed up to last year, Dave.
I know. And this is a cracker of a fish. Nigel Akan, I think I've pronounced that right. Now, this one, Nigel did write to me this morning and he said, look, we aren't sure about the scales. It's obviously a big fish.
Yeah, it is a very
We're not
big
sure
fish.
how accurate the scales are, but Nigel and 2 of his mates set out and headed out through, the western entrance there, and what a cracker of a fish. In anyone's language, regardless of the weight.
It doesn't matter where you go in the world, if you catch a fish of that size, let alone in your home waters, which is not a common catch, that is out of control.
Let's have a look at what got landed into Hastings, sitting on the Hastings fish cleaning table there. Glenn Palmer and Stuart Milsom. Now, they actually left Stony Point. Ads, tell the story.
Yeah,
where'd they head?
Pretty sure they left from Stony because they're a bit iffy on the weather.
Yep.
They've done the trip out to Flinders. Didn't take them long to come across bait, and that's the result.
Mark writes to me, and he goes, "Hi guys, unfortunately I sent this to the wrong email address last week. Need to redeem myself with the missus." Caught by Kerry lay a 11.2 kilogram snapper on a pilchard off St Kilda last Sunday morning, which I think he means the Sunday before because he sent it to the wrong email address. Kerry, give him the flick. Seriously, Mark, get your email address.
You know what, though?
That is a cracker of a fish.
In Mark's defence, everyone will wait for an 11.2 kilo snapper. Look at that.
His fingers were probably trembling on the keyboard because 11.2. I mean, look at the tail on it.
That's a bigger snapper you'll see, and the photo finally, because photos are tough for some of these big fish. That's a quite 100% justice. It looks huge.
Trouble is, Mark, you don't send it to idon'tcare.com.
My missus caught a bigger fish.com.au. Allegedly, Gavin Methers to us. He got a 20-pounder, although there is talk that his wife got it and he's just holding it. She normally outfishes him.
That's all right. Well, we take the mickey out of Methers on most shows because there's either all the reports start with Methers and young son who outfished old man, or Methers was outfished by wife. Methers, I want you to write to us, mate, because is that You're just holding your wife's fish there.
But it's a genuine 20-pounder, and well done to the family, just in case it was the family effort and not just
It's a team game.
fish. Yeah, it's a team game, yeah. Next one, I'll tell you what, this I got an email from John, his mate, but Doug Brereton, he landed a 92 centimetre cod. After watching our show last week, it gave them inspiration and tips to give it a go. They got the fish on the corner of the big river arm at Eildon on a purple deep diver. Yeah. So there you go. Well done, Doug. That's a cracker of a cod, eh?
Same as you said last week, big river arm on the corner. Obviously, he's chased it up.
Yep.
Now, Charlie, cod of that size to you guys at Shepparton and back what you do is the equivalent of us talking about 100 kilo tuna, isn't it?
That is exactly, yeah. Anything over a metre
it's a big deal.
Definitely. But when you get up in those sizes, they are great.
It's a big deal.
Paul Delisle, he's been heading up to Eildon for quite some time now, and he's had many a session on a 60 and 70 centimetre fish, but have a look at that. Cracked the metre for the first time, 105 centimetres on a stump jumper in the big river arm. Thank you very much.
Nice fish. Look at that. It's a great... Look at that proportion of that fish is just perfect, isn't it?
It's perfect, isn't it? Yeah.
Really nice fish.
Paul was absolutely stoked. Released unharmed. You know, he said it seriously was out of the water for about 10 seconds. I spoke to him today about it, and he just said, fish of a lifetime.
Yep.
He has certainly put in the hours. But let's kick it off with a monster of a fish. This, now, before we put the photo up, I just want to paint the picture. There are men all over the state who have spent tens of thousands of dollars on their boats, their gear. They have spent countless hundreds of hours at night fishing, planning moons, tides, all that sort of thing. And then young Ebony Phipps and her dad Wayne go out in their tinny, having a snapper fish off Coronella, and have a look at this. A genuine 30 kilo mulloway, taken straight to Tackle World Cranbourne and weighed, so officially weighed there, 30 kilograms on the knocker. I'll tell you what, Scotty was in tears when he saw that. Scotty was in tears. He has invested a lifelong of savings.
That's 30 kilos of the unicorn of Western Port.
So Ebony and Wayne, congratulations, because that is the holy grail. I know you're doing something with that fish that'll be very, very special, but that is just a sensational catch. I'd crown it catch of the year.
Oh, definitely.
Catch of the year, Ebony, well done.
Definitely.
If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@eyefish.com.au.
And coming up on Talking Fishing Product of the Week, we take a look at Casey Field's Kids Day right after this.
Talking Fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See you down at Tackle World today.
Product of the Week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking Fishing.
Now, we're going to keep Product of the Week tonight with our theme of marine safety, and in particular some of the things that you should have on your boat.
This is a jump starter kit. Now this contains everything. It's basically based around this tiny little battery pack. It's got a torch on it. You can plug USBs into it to charge all of your phones. It comes with all those fittings, everything from iPhone, Samsung, whole kit and caboodle. But it's also a jump starter. So we were talking off air briefly, Marty, and this time of year especially, a lot of the boats are coming out for the first time and batteries can be an issue. This little device can get you home safely when things go wrong. It's not a legal prerequisite, but I think it should be, because it can potentially save lives but get you out of sticky situations.
Absolutely, and it's a great segue into this time of the year. Everyone's got the snapper fever and they forget about the prep of their vessel, batteries, stale fuel, all that sort of stuff. And they'll get their battery, to get their motor started at their first go, and they'll just get going, and all of a sudden they get out there and they're stuck out there.
They travel for 15 minutes off Carrum and then park themselves for 3 hours with their sounders, their lights going.
Yep.
And these really good agencies like Coast Guard and VMR and all those guys, they do a great job, and they have to go out there and look for these guys, and particularly at night.
These kits come with everything. Jumper leads.
Brilliant.
To charge your thing, you can charge the power pack in the boat if you've got a cigarette lighter, which a lot of boats, if not most of them, are coming with these days. There's connections upon connections for every device. I just think it's one of those handy things. This one comes with an air compressor, so if you've got issues with your trailer tyres not with the correct pressure, it's got everything in it, and I just think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Because it can get you out of trouble if things go wrong unexpectedly.
There you go.
So that's the power on unit. We're going to look at a plastic this week as part of the fuse bait range, and the reason I've done this is there's a few little tails which have got their own little uniqueness. It just separates them from the market with a little bit of combination of ultra realistic appearance as well as a few little features which enhance swimming action to get that bite. Now I'm going to open up with the prawn head, and now I'm not going to read off the run sheet here which says pawn head. This is the prawn head, and even though it says prawn head, it's probably more of a little shrimp imitation. This one's called the Doctor. I've got no idea why, but it's got a beautiful big paddle tail.
It's not the nurse.
And it's not the nurse. Nice ribbed body for extra action. It just helps push water over the body to give you a maximum amount of action. This is the claw. Now the reason I bring this up because this is realistically... Shut up, Charlie. It's aimed at the freshwater market. Anything that eats a yabby, so yellow belly, cod. But the reason I bought this on the show is they've been found to work really well when they're dragged behind a spinnerbait trailer. Hang that behind your spinnerbait, and that is a beautiful spinnerbait trailer. But also, again, light-weighted. Drop that down a rock wall, and I don't think the yellow belly and the cod are around. That's going to be a Neildon Specials. The bazza bait, also known as the nurse.
Oh,
there you go.
Gutless.
The nurse.
Hey.
So that mucks around with your Doctor.
It does.
And it's got fish written all over it.
But that, look at that. I don't think you can see the eye. That is going to be, I'm telling you, a cracker bait down at Hazelwood Pondage.
I was going to say, dare I say Hazelwood. Well, you're heading up to Eildon to chase cod, yellow belly, redfin. There is something in the fuse range that is going to appeal to you and catch you more fish. So have a look at them. I love them, and I'm just happy I got to talk about soft plastics for a little bit. Now, Charlie, we're talking Eildon cod.
Yep.
I've got 3 lures here. The Storm Arashi, the Old Mate, which I know you had a very, very big hand in producing, and obviously the Stump Jumper, which we saw Paulie D catch his big cod on.
Yeah.
These 3 lures in the 3 colours you see on your screen right now have taken big Murray cod in the last month. So write that down. There's a purple there, there's a pink, and then there's this really funky blue chartreuse colour, which is a little bit different, but write them down there big time. And Trally, I know Old Mates have been getting it done in your neck of the woods for a long time, and it's starting to make its way down to us.
All working well.
Victory Knives are a New Zealand-based company who make a very, very beautiful product. Now, the reason I got drawn to this to start with is because these days in knives we see a lot of very fancy handles with different grips and all sorts of materials. These guys keep it nice and simple. Comfortable, nice big finger guard, just a basic grip there so you're not slipping, and the blades are absolutely flawless. This is a little, I guess, what we would use mainly for our whiting and flathead fishery. Now this for us becomes, I guess, our regular snapper knife. This is what we'd use mainly for our biggest snapper in that class of 2, 3, up to 5 kilos. It also becomes quite a universal shark knife and kingfish knife for us as well. For those that like a more standard straight blade, this one is a knife becoming very, very popular, especially since the tuna fishery and obviously our kingfish fishery, which has just started to take off in the last few years. Curved blade, so very easy to get down to those delicate bones, or if you're dealing with a gummy shark, that cartilage without actually cutting through and basically meaning you have to hack the flesh off the cartilage. These make life really easy. The Stratix s04 Plus has been a staple of, I guess, Victorian and Australian fishing for the last few years, and they've just released a brand new model with some exciting new features, which is very, very great because they've just gone and taken the lightest Shimano reel and made it even lighter. And there's a few little ways in which they've been able to achieve it. Now, the first is they've completely reworked the new bail arm system in this, and by doing that they've taken the bail trip, which normally sits on the side of the bail roller, and they've changed it to the opposite side. Now what that's been able to achieve is, normally to get a nice balance in that reel they have to put a counterweight on the opposite side, but now with that being taken up by the bail trip mechanism, it's completely changed the way the bail trip works, and it's also taken the weight out of the reel. So they've lowered this reel by 5 grams at a hole across the entire range.
Just when you thought the lightest reel in the Shimano stable couldn't get any lighter, it's the lightest ever produced.
That's right. Now I've got a little 1000 in my hand at the moment, and it's almost like holding nothing. You put that on a little brim reel or a little brim rod or a trout rod, and you can cast lures with this bad boy all day with no fatigue at all.
Before we move on to the 4000, the 1000, 3 kilos of drag, 5-to-1 gear ratio, so it's a nice light, perfect for brim. When you get into the 2.5 and the 3, 9 kilos of drag. They're a tough little
that's a
light
lot
reel.
for a little reel.
They weigh, the 2.5 and the 3, they both weigh 190 grams. That is light. Lightest 2.5, 3000 on the market. And both have 6-to-1 gear ratio, so up a little bit. And then you get the big boy. Have a look at that one, and I'll tell you some specs on that in a minute.
So the 4000, again, it's been a staple of a Shimano reel for as long as I can remember. Everything from snapper to Barramundi, which we're going to talk about a little bit further, casting off the beach. Another little key stat, I guess, and a way they've made these things which incorporates the Stella technology, they've moved the main shaft of the reel back towards the reel foot. It's actually offset. What that does is give the reel a much better centre of gravity as it pushes it towards the actual foot of the rod, maintaining that balance when you're winding. It doesn't want to roll and it doesn't want to wobble, and gives you the most beautiful fishing experience ever.
Just some stats on that one. Adds the 4000, 11 kilos of drag. It's an XG, so they're starting to mark some of these high gear, extra gear and that sort of stuff. So it's an extra gear, 6.2-to-1. So that is a tough light reel, the sort of thing that you could, fish snapper if you wanted to, particularly soft plastics and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Go all day. Big dusky flathead.
Yes.
If you're targeting those big 70, 80, 90 centimetre fish,
right. And
absolutely perfect.
And with 11 kilos of drag, you can target things like small kingfish, small tuna. It's one of the most versatile size reels in the Shimano stable.
Let's move along. We're going to talk about Casey Fields now, and the Future Fish Foundation put on a big event on Saturday, the Casey Fields Kids Come Try Fishing Day. We've got a few snaps we're going to show you right now. And it was just a great day. Look, as we mentioned before, the weather turned it on for us.
It did.
The 500 trout. Now I looked, Saturday night was a full moon, and I just thought the fish aren't going to bite. Paul had his big boat there and gave a tuition to every single one of the 300 kids that were there, which is priceless.
Yep.
Our team of volunteers, guys like Rob Plant from Cranbourne Angling Club, Brian Rinaldi, Simon's dad from Cranbourne Angling Club, to AB, to Darren the electrician at work. Some super guys that came along. Wilco. Been listening to Wilco on the ABC for 14 years, and Wilco comes along every year and just helps volunteer on this great day for the kids. And even that young fellow on your screen right now squeezing a bit of lemon on a beautifully cooked trout, because one of the things we did, Trelly, was if you caught a fish, Ken the chef, and you can only see his legs there in that picture, but Ken the chef would either clean the fish and bag it for you, or he'd actually cook it for you. And this young fellow here squirted his lemon on, and then he ate a trout for lunch. Every kid walked away with a rod and reel to take home and hopefully annoy their parents on other weekends and getting down to places like Casey Fields or down the local piers, and that's what's fishing's about. Now we want to change the subject. We talked about it earlier, Murray cod, and certainly featured a lot in Catch of the Week, but many people don't understand just how many Murray cod are stocked in Victoria and how that rebuild throughout many lakes and impoundments and even rivers in Victoria has made a comeback. It's a busy time up at Snobs Creek right now, and they're working very, very hard to get Murray cod on the map, in the water, getting it done. Let's have a look at the video of what it's all about.
Murray cod is an iconic Australian native fish, highly prized by anglers. But it's also a species that's been under pressure. because of changes to the environment, habitat destruction, pressure from introduced species, and in the past, some poor fishing practices. To give Murray cod populations a helping hand and improve opportunities for recreational fishers, we breed Murray cod here at our hatchery at Snobs Creek, not far from Lake Eildon. Each year, between September to November, several nesting boxes are placed in earthen ponds where large broodfish are kept year-round. These mature fish range in size from 70 to 100 centimetres, which is the optimal breeding size because they're the ones that produce the largest number of quality, healthy eggs. The nesting boxes simulate hollow logs, which are the preferred breeding spots for Murray cod in the wild. Each hexagonal box is covered in black plastic, which is removable. Regular inspections by hatchery staff reveal recent spawning events, and harvesting occurs throughout the 3-month season, depending on seasonal climatic conditions. During the spawning season, Murray cod lay thousands of small white eggs inside each nesting box. The eggs are sticky and adhere to the black plastic. The plastic is cut into segments on a template so it can estimate egg numbers. These are then transferred into incubation tanks inside the hatchery. Temperature controlled and oxygenated fresh water is pumped through the tanks to keep the eggs healthy and to maximise the number that hatch into larvae. This happens 8 or 9 days later. The larvae are transferred into rearing tanks and fed microscopic crustacea called Artemia, commonly known as sea monkeys, which we grow on site. After 2 weeks, the cod larvae are swimming strongly and feeding really well, ready for yet another transfer. This time outside to productive ponds, full of more live food. They remain in these ponds for up to 3 months. Each day, water temperature and oxygen levels are checked and the growth and health of the fish is constantly monitored. When the cod reach fingerling size, it's time to harvest and prepare them for transport and release. Staff are up around 4 AM to drain the ponds so the juvenile fish are moved during the coolest part of the day. The fingerlings gather in the sump and are collected for transfer to the hatchery one last time. The small fish remain in the hatchery tanks for 24 hours while they undergo a cleansing process to remove any microorganisms and to let them recover from any physical handling associated with the harvest. In recent years, annual Murray cod production from the hatchery has exceeded 500,000 fingerlings, with more purchased from private hatcheries if required to meet stocking plans. Finally, the cod fingerlings are ready for release into lakes and rivers throughout northern Victoria. Normally, the fingerlings grow to catchable size in 4 to 5 years following release, although this varies depending on the productivity of the waterway. Other native fish are grown at Snobs Creek as well, and include 2 endangered species, the quarry perch and trout cod. These breeding programs are mostly about helping the conservation effort, although developing recreational fisheries are on the agenda too. Growing Murray cod here at Snobs Creek greatly contributes to wild, healthy stocks, whilst enhancing opportunities for cod fishers. With funding help from recreational fishing licence fees and other government initiatives such as the Target 1 Million, we'll continue to produce Murray cod and other native fish species here, along with our trout, which are all highly regarded by anglers. This will ensure healthy populations of fish for future generations to enjoy the great outdoors, our environment and a wetter life.
Talking fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Barramundi in Hazelwood Pondage. If you haven't heard about it, you must have been on the moon, because it's something that is just taking Victorian recreational anglers by storm, and everyone's talking about it. It's probably one of the biggest subjects, Anthony, on social media, if you like, in the fishing industry. We're going to take a look back, just going to wind back the clock to April, have a look at what happened back in April 2016.
Morwell is not renowned for its beauty or hot weather, but locals say it will soon become a tropical sports hotspot. A warm weather pond is being stocked with the famous North Australian fighting fish, the Barramundi, in an effort to draw anglers to the district. Nick McCallum reports from the unlikely home of a Barra bonanza.
Morwell is a grey town in eastern Victoria. It's overshadowed by the Hazelwood power station, but now it wants to compete with the Northern Territory as a tropical sports fishing paradise. Today, 1,600 barramundi, 100 of them longer than 30 centimetres, were released at the Hazelwood power station pond near the town. The discharged cooling water from the station is so warm it's considered ideal for Northern Australia's famous fighting fish.
I think the northern states have enjoyed a monopoly on warm water fisheries, and we're going to put them under a bit of pressure, and we're making no apologies for that.
The idea to create a barra fishery so southern anglers will not have to spend thousands of dollars to head north. Locals are excited at the prospect of a tourism boom, maybe overexcited.
Millions of dollars into the economy of Morwell. People will travel from Tasmania, New South Wales, South Australia and all over Victoria with their boats in tow. They'll come to Morwell to catch a barramundi, and they'll bring their tourism dollars with them. They won't be going to Northern Territory and Queensland anymore.
Already the pond boasts small tropical fish, ideal eating for barramundi.
If we've got metre-long barramundi in Victoria, you watch the fishermen show up.
The pond will be closed for fishing for the next 6 months to allow the new residents to acclimatise and hopefully to prosper. But locals are confident they'll have a barra bonanza starting this summer.
On the footsteps of Hazelwood Power Station lies the beautiful Hazelwood Pondage, soon to be home to 1,600 barramundi and, later on, 15,000 barramundi. Now, you could think that I'm in a little creek up in the Northern Territory. You have a look at the structure just over my right shoulder, but here we are at Hazelwood Pondage. Look at that structure, look at this barramundi. Those two things are going to equal 1 metre barra in around about 2 years' time. I'll let this one go now. Beautiful. There's a caravan park, a sailing club, a great little island and plenty of structure for the barra to just thrive. Barramundi. The historic occasion has arrived. Here is a Hazelwood barramundi. Now, if that doesn't get you excited, then the next image that we put up on the screen will, because those barramundi have grown a little bit. Anthony, now that's Brett Ingram, the scientist who's running the science side of the barramundi stocking in Hazelwood. When was that fish stocked?
So that was a 33 centimetre fish weighing about 500 grams that was put in back in September of last year.
Okay, so there was a little acclimatisation trial, wasn't there?
Bit, yeah.
And that was one of those fish?
I think we finished the acclimatisation trial, we released 18 of the bigger fish.
Yeah.
And
from memory, that's 76 centimetres and 6 kilos?
6.3, 6.4 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now the next image we're going to show was a fish taken last week.
Yeah.
When was that one released?
We think it's the same year class. So we think it was from the same batch. We're not 100% sure.
Yep.
But we'll do more work on that. We'll take its otolith out and have a look at it.
Yep.
That one was about 5.3 kilos.
Wow.
But it's extremely deep, as you can see.
Yeah, so obviously that's eating. It's eating a lot of tilapia.
A lot of tilapia.
Yeah. Anthony, I guess the big question is, you know, like those 30 centimetre ones that you saw in the earlier footage, us putting them in. So have you had a few of those samples out? The tagged ones, have you had any of those tagged ones out?
I think so far, well, as of next Friday, we will have released 6,600 Barramundi.
Yep. Wow.
5,000 of those are 30 centimetre fish, so they're ready to go.
Yep.
And then there's a sprinkling of other size fish. We've got some 10 centimetre and some 5 centimetre fish. All of those have been tagged and we can track their performance over time.
Yep.
But the bigger fish you've seen are coming through from that last September stocking.
Wow. Now we've got a growth rate graph I think we're going to show now. That's comparing some of the big impoundments up in Queensland and places like Tinaroo and Awonga and stuff like that. So the red dots there is the Hazelwood fish, isn't it?
Now this is a work in progress, but this is a very satisfying graph for any Victorians, because up there you've got the iconic, you know, internationally important Tinaroo Barramundi fisheries, and you can see that the growth rates in Hazelwood are far better than most of those fisheries. So what's happened we've got a virgin biomass of tilapia and cichlids and bait fish, and these barramundi are just gorging themselves.
Do you think that'll slow down when the extra 5,000 is going in as we speak, or not tonight, but you know, do you think that growth rate will slow down with more fish, or
it most certainly will. We're seeing the good times now, and it'll preserve, I think, for another 4 or 5 months, and then we'll see a natural tapering off of the growth rates. But at that stage, the fish will be 60 to 70 centimetres, and there'll be some great fish to be caught.
Tell you what, when I hooked up the first barramundi last Wednesday, I shed a tear, I can tell you. This is what happened last Wednesday.
Barramundi. Barramundi. Barramundi.
Now, David, even though we went to the council offices 10 years ago and put this proposal forward, when did you actually think it might happen?
Well, probably 7 years ago, we actually decided to do something about it, Paul, the Future Fish Foundation, and I was heading it up at the time, and we thought we needed to do a bit of work with the state government and the power station. We picked the state government work first, and we went and did a whole lot of science to prove, I guess scientifically, that barramundi would survive in Hazelwood Pondage. That was a pretty big project. We employed Dr. Paul Hardy-Smith. He was absolutely fantastic with the work he did, and it proved that barramundi would survive if released into here. We then went to the state government and lobbied virtually to say, hey, we want you guys to support this project, put some funding in and get it to happen.
So how many barramundi have gone into the lake so far?
Yeah, all up 7,000 fish, Paul, 7,000 fish, and there's no reason why any single one of them wouldn't have survived.
So when was the first big drop of fish?
Well, the big drop was about 5,000 fish midway through 2016. It was a mixture of fish, mixture of fingerlings, about 10 centimetre fish and 30 centimetre fish. And those 30 centimetre fish are the ones that the mums, the dads, the families that come to fish at Hazelwood Pondage are going to enjoy as big barramundi in Victoria.
Oh, that's on! That's a fish! That's a fish! Now we're in trouble, David. Your mission, should you accept it, is to get this barramundi through all these lines.
No, I've got him in close.
Hang on. Oh, yeah, I'm on! I'm on! Oh, they all feel better, but maybe we need to stop moving forward. How's that double hook up on barramundi in Victoria? Yeah, baby.
That is good.
It's not good. It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, he's a jumper. That's our first jumper, David. Isn't this so incredible? We're like little boys just having a ball. Oh, yeah, baby. We have jumpage.
I reckon mine's 1 centimetre bigger than yours, I can already tell.
I'm just going to try and grab this.
Victorian barramundi, you beauty.
Look at that. What do you reckon, David? A pigeon pair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I reckon they come out of the same mould. Look at those two fish. And did you ever in your wildest dreams, growing up in the beautiful state of Victoria, think that this day could happen?
I didn't think 10 years ago when we presented to council and said we want to put barramundi in, that would ever come true. So, this is just stuff of dreams, isn't it?
It is stuff of dreams. Now, we're catching the little ones. We believe there's fish in here to nearly 85 centimetres.
Yeah.
Imagine 85 centimetre barramundi that are this fat, and it's not going to be long until we've got 1 metre barramundi here. That's the holy grail.
Well, if these have grown from 30 centimetres to this in 12 weeks, imagine the fish that were put in at 50 centimetres, what they are now, and we're going to try and find them.
We're going to find them, all right. At the moment, look at Barramundi gold. It's going off left, right and centre.
Talking fishing.
Make mine a Mornington.
G'day, David Kramer here. I'm a massive fan of the Mazda BT50, having personally driven and owned one for more than 5 years now. And to tell you what, you can't beat them for an all-round great ute and a great tow vehicle. Get into Mornington Mazda before the end of the month and grab yourself a run-out bargain. I made mine a Mornington Mazda.
Make mine a Mornington Mazda.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
Well, what a sensational part of the world I've brought you to today for Product of the Week. It's the mighty Delatite River up near Mansfield, a fantastic trout stream for these little browns that are just yummo on the plate. But I'm not going to talk to you about brown trout today. I'm not going to talk to you about fly gear. What I'm going to talk to you about is something really important when you go trout fishing, and that's the eyewear. You want to be able to see the fish before you present a fly, and it's most important to have a good set of Polarized sunglasses. Now, I wear spotters. I'm wearing the gold leaf. They're just sensational on these very sunny days. But not every day is a sunny day. Today's been sun in, sun out, cloud in, cloud out. It's like a game of tennis. And if you can afford it, get yourself another pair of glasses, because if you can change midway through for the conditions you're fishing, it's a great way to see the fish. I'm just going to put this trout down. I'm going to show you more of my eyewear that I take when I come to the Delatite. All right, I've got rid of the trout. Now it's time to talk to you seriously about the eyewear you should be wearing when you come trout fishing on a beautiful stream like the Delatite. Today I've got the gold leaf. It's the Rebel frame. Very, very comfortable. Now the gold leaf is very good on a bright, sunny day. It penetrates through the water. You can see the fish. It's just fantastic when you want to present that fly right in front of it. But today's been, like I said, sunny, cloudy, cloudy. I want to change over and adapt to the conditions that I'm fishing in. So today, I take the gold ones off that come from a brown base, and I put the blue mirror on, which comes from a grey base. Now the blue mirror, it's just a little bit lighter, so in the duller conditions, you can swap over, and they're just a fantastic lens. But there's a third one that I love to take when I go trout fishing, because late in the afternoon, when it gets quite dull, or the clouds roll in as they do in Melbourne, and you have a terrible cold change, and it's dull and it's dark all of a sudden, I want to be able to adapt to that situation as well. Spotters now have this one. This is the Blaze frame, a very good cover of the eye, and it's a fantastic lens. It's yellow, it's called Extreme, remember it, Extreme. It's a fantastic lens in very, very dull conditions. I tell you what, get yourself a pair of these if it's only your second pair, because they are just sensational. They change your fishing. I'm going to show you what they look like through the lens. Let's have a look. Now I'm not sure if this experiment's going to work, but I'm just going to put the gold mirror in front of the lens. Have a look at that and just have a look at how beautiful that is on a bright sunny day. Now I'm going to swap over from the gold mirror. I'm going to use the blue mirror. It's just a little bit lighter. Like I said, it comes from a grey base. Just a little bit lighter than that previous one, the gold mirror. But when it does get cloudy late in the day, it's always good to swap over to the Extreme lens, the yellow. It's a fantastic lens. It'll show up a little bit light today, but in dull conditions, it's just absolutely sensational. You've got to have a spare pair of spotters in your pocket for when the conditions change, to give you that edge on catching beautiful brown trout in the Delatite. So there you go, a spotters for every occasion. It pays to have a couple. If you can afford it, have three, because it does change the way you fish. It gives you the edge, and you will see that fish in any conditions when you're fishing places like the mighty Delatite River. And there you go, that was the Delatite River.
Snake!
All right, I don't know if anyone did notice, but there was actually a snake in there. And I had no idea, we were filming there. I had no idea. I'm there just putting the lenses in. In fact, you're going to see it here.
There we go.
Have a look at this. I think we're allowed to talk during this video, but while I was filming, there's
There it is.
And what sort of snake is that, Charlie?
A big one.
It'd have to be a good 6 foot.
I reckon they're pretty right, actually.
I had no idea that was there. Have a look at this.
Yeah.
I know it's a bit blurry, but this is a bit of a close-up. I had no idea that was there until our producer Kevin sent us this video, and then Adam, you rang me, and you have a look at 2 minutes and 53 in. It looks like there's a snake in the foreground.
That's right.
I only walked that area for about an hour and a half. But anyway, how good was
Rolled
that?
around the grass, had a sleep.
Oh, anyway, I couldn't believe that snake, because I hate snakes. But anyway,
got one on your belly.
Got a couple actually.
Yeah,
one without its head, I bit his head off before.
I'm going to eat that. I'm
One
going
in
to
your
eat these
pants,
soon. But anyway, these are the sunnies. So gold leaf, just beautiful in the Rebel. Blue mirror in the Rebel, and Blaze Extreme, my favourite new pair of spiders.
The old Extremes.
Yeah. At Altona Pier on the weekend.
Yeah.
This is what happened, and we can talk while the footage is rolling, but this is what happened at Altona Pier. Now, many people could say that there was a massive run of snapper because of the big blow, but it's not blowing, or a great run of garfish have been spotted off the Altona Pier, and look at everyone. The fact is, it had nothing to do with fishing, right? See everyone there? They've all got their phones in their hand. There's a Pokemon apparently on the end of the pier. Can you? This is Altona Pier. Is that Trelly? I'd like your honest opinion. What do you think?
I thought they were all going out there to, say goodbye to a heap of refugees leaving off the boat at the end. I don't know.
I'll tell you where
Have you seen anything like this so ridiculous?
Push them off the Tasmania.
I'll tell you where they should put the Pokemon, and it's not on the end of the pier.
But how's that guy ran into a fence the other day too? Pokemon. There's going to be accidents everywhere. It's just
all those people going along. How ridiculous is that? They're going they're going on Altona Pier.
More people doing that than fishing, obviously. Far out.
That is just ridiculous. Anyway, coming up this week's hotspots next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsland's Tackle World Cranbourne. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start.
I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat.
Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Hello, Richie Minnow here. It's now time for this week's Fishing Hotspots on Talking Fishing. Marvellous.
Let's get into the hot spots. Some of the greatest spots you can fish while you're on holidays, because many people are enjoying this break between Christmas and New Year, and I hope you're catching plenty of fish. But the first one is get to the rip. We're hearing there's kingfish there. I know they're finicky. Kingfish are always hard to get, but boys, plenty of reports of kingfish already in the rip, and you need to do it on those calm days, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. It can be a bit of crazy, bit of water there, so pick your times.
Jigging,
live
Charlie, a lot of people have said it's a bit hard on the bait. Still quite cold, the ocean currents coming into the bay. So I know the bay's really starting to warm up, but it's still cold outside, and you get that run-in tide and a bit of a cold flush through there. So hard to get a bit of bait, but I'll tell you what, jigging's the go.
Excited.
Let's head to the whiting capital of the world, the King George whiting capital of the world, St Leonard's. I know it's busy, and all those people camping at St Leonard's right now going,
no,
Kramer, ring, Charlie, what are you talking about?
Send them somewhere else.
That's
Up the Murray.
But it is the place to fish for King George whiting. Either tide in or out is good, and also on the change of tide, just have a little drift for some calamari. A nice fresh bait is the go. The next one, or in fact the next four, let's look at some land-based specials, because a lot of people watching this show sitting in their caravan annexes or on holidays, and they go, where can we take the kids land-based? And you can't go past Mornington Pier. What's been caught there?
It's pretty good at the moment, because we're in that time of year where everything's on offer, depending on where you can get a spot, because it can get quite, it can get quite busy. But anywhere off the left-hand side, put a big bait out for a snapper. You still have every chance of catching a snapper at this time of year.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, put a nice long cast in towards the moored boats, King George whiting coming in.
Yep.
And if you just want to go down for a couple of hours, take a squid jig and get a feed of calamari.
Let's head over to Western Port now, and another land-based favourite for many, many people is the Flinders Pier, and some very big calamari coming off the Flinders Pier as well now.
Yeah, definitely. Take a little bit different to target them off Flinders Pier, I think. You can throw your jigs and that's all good. You'll still get plenty of them, but take a nice long rod, a 10 to 12 foot surf rod, a nice big baited jig, and get that out as far as you can. That's generally how a lot of the bigger ones are taken off.
How would you bait your jig in it? Case like a strip of something on the bottom of your
full fish. So
that's
baited jig, sort of squid spike with a silver whiting or a garfish or anything you can get your hands on.
We'll have to demonstrate with Richie Minnow how to do that one. We get him in here and use the spike and show him how to thread a Richie Minnow. That's pretty much where you put it, Charlie.
That's his New Year's resolution. Don't go near the squid spike.
Don't go near a squid spike. Don't go near a squid. Let's head to another very favourite holiday destination where people will probably be saying, don't let anyone come down here. Lawn Pier. Sorry for all those people enjoying Lawn at the moment, but what a place to be this time of year as well, boys.
Doesn't get spoken enough of, the Lawn Pier.
No.
Down here. I know it's a bit out of the way for us, but calamari, big schools of big Australian salmon get through there. And
at night, the amount of calamari coming in there at the moment, and that's why a lot of arrowhead squid amongst them too. You see those squid boats hanging off Lawn at night. You can see all the boats with the lights out at night. And
even the tuna, they're still catching tuna?
No, it hasn't been a report for a while.
Finally. It was a long enough season.
Well, they probably are still there, Charlie, but no one's fishing for them. So, and the next one, again, another very, very favourite place is the 90 Mile Beach, and you name it, they're getting it off it at the moment. So salmon, gummy sharks at night. Charlie, you were talking about a couple of reports of
white pointers. On the beach.
Let them go.
90 Mile Beach.
Let them go.
Yeah.
You get in trouble.
Ooh, can't do that, can we?
No. So there you go. There's some hot spots to go to if you're just enjoying your holidays and want to go somewhere with the kids for fishing. Plenty of land-based opportunities, and there's lots more. If you want to see a full report of where to go, ifish.com.au. Check out the fishing report there. Boys, I just wanted to start a little debate. Graphite versus fiberglass rods. Ads, do you want to have your say?
Graphite all the way.
Okay.
Being predominantly lure fishing.
For you?
For me, personally.
Some people should know graphite.
That's correct. And there's always a reason why you would or wouldn't use graphite and fiberglass, but predominantly lure fishing these days, it's all graphite for me. A little bit more
now, okay, so when you say that, casting lures, if you're trolling lures, graphite or fiberglass?
It's flip of a coin. I'd still use graphite, but that's just
trolling lures, fiberglass or graphite?
Graphite.
Really?
I'd go graphite every time. Now, what I do is I usually look at the customer. I go outside and have a look at if he's a plumber or he's a tradesman.
Firstly, you've got too much time on your hands.
You know, graphite is probably not the way to go. Right? They just treat them like tools. They're terrible use blokes. Right?
Well, one of the biggest things what you're talking about is people break graphite rods quite easily if they don't, you know, their method in hooking a fish or reeling it in or whatever. You've got to have your drag right. You've got to play the fish right and all that sort of stuff.
But graphite is much more responsive.
So that's me personally. From obviously we all work in tackle stores, so we're salesmen. There is definitely a time and a place for fiberglass rods. Generally speaking, the way I'll deliver it, if you're not sure and you generally bait fish, go fiberglass. But if you're a lure fisherman or you want to do both, graphite only for lure fishing. I think it's the only way.
Go ahead. Right. You get.
Thanks for asking, mate.
Welcome back, Connor. Again, last time we mentioned welcome back, Connor. We had all people write to us.
If you get a graphite, a fiberglass rod, and you bend it over, right? It's sort of happy to be bent over. You know, you get I'm not going to go with that. Right? If you get a graphite rod,
I was fine until you laughed.
If you get a graphite rod and you bend it over, it just wants to be straight. It wants to be straight. And casting a graphite rod, if you loaded it at say 2 o'clock, by the time you get not to 10, but you get to 11 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock, you'll be drunk.
The tip is actually past your point of cast, so it does the work for you with the graphite. Fiberglass doesn't. It's just slack, goes all the way through.
Beer batter. I was having this debate the other day about the ingredients of beer batter. Now, I've always been told that you put your fish in plain flour, so roll it in plain flour first, and the beer batter has self-raising flour. But there's always debates. Do you use heavy beer, light beer? Do you use eggs? Do you use egg white? Do you use egg yellow? You boys got any comments on that?
Well,
Go for it.
I haven't done a lot of, like, as you do. I've done a bit of tempura, which is a similar thing.
What's tempura?
Tempura is a form of, well, it's like it's a batter, but actually when you do the water part, when you're mixing up your flour or mixing up your egg white, when you do that, we were told, and this was a Japanese cooking class I'd done, a bowl that was in the freezer, and you took it out when it was like had so much ice on the top, cracked the ice off it, use the water straight away and get it into the really hot oil straight away. So the colder it is, transferred into the hotter, and that's what gives you a really crispy finish to your batter.
There you go. We'd like to hear your beer batter recipes if we could. So if you want to post them on our Facebook page at Talking Fishing, or if you want to email them, kramer@ifish.com.au. Wouldn't mind having a segment on different beer batter recipes, because I reckon everyone's got different methods and ingredients. But the other thing is, when I've done a beer batter, Charlie, it's similar, I put it in the freezer. So just get it, once you've done the beer batter, when you've got it prepared in a bowl, I always put it in the freezer for about half an hour to get it really cold, because that's what I've found. The colder that is and the hotter your oil, and the difference between those two temperatures will be your crispness of your beer batter.
And
it
just makes it lighter too, doesn't it?
There you go. We'd love to hear your beer batter recipes, ingredients and methods. Just send them to us if you could. That's it for Talking Fishing. Hope you enjoyed the show, the highlights of 2016, and what a great year it was. Now we're going to take a break. The whole of January, there's 5 Tuesdays in it. You're going to see some of the best shows that we've produced in 2016. So make sure you keep watching every Tuesday night, 8:30 here on C31. And we repeat a couple of times a week as well. Just check your local guides. We are back the first Tuesday in February for a brand new season of Talking Fishing. Lots of new stuff. So much happening in fishing in 2017. We've seen the plan. It's going to be a big year. See you soon on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.